So many acronyms,
I know it's LMNOPs. No, just can you stop and take a step back and just clearly define what is a local school council? What do they do? And how can families get involved? Because I really want our families of our youngest learners to really understand that there is a place for you.
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely.
And so I want you to take some time and walk them through it.
All right. I'll be glad to do that. So LSC is also known as the local school council. And what a local school council is an opportunity for parents, community members, students, teachers, and the principal by default all have an opportunity to have a voice, a seat at the table to talk about things that impact them. Often you have people from the top making decisions that are going to impact the end users. Those are our stakeholders, our students, our parents, our communities. But who better can say what's best for them and their students and their school community than the people that are involved? And that's the parents and the students.
So Myra, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for making the time to be with us today here on Circle Time Conversations. Today's conversation is really centered around the everyday parent who is wondering, is there something in CPS for me? And so I want you to take a little time, introduce yourself, and then we're going to get right into the parent's role in the district.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. So thank you for having me to talk about this amazing opportunity for our parents. My name is Myra Winding. I am the Assistant Director for the Office of Local School Council Relations. And I've been with the district for about 23 plus years in various capacities. I'm a graduate from CPS schools and I'm a parent of a student that graduated from CPS schools. So the work is very personal. And I had to navigate the system. And I was a parent on the LSC before I even worked for the district. So to end up in this role is really special and personal. So I'm really excited to talk about what the LSC is, the opportunities that it presents for our parents and our community members, and how do you go about being on your local school council. Really excited about that.
Well, you mentioned LSCs. I know it's PACs.
So many acronyms,
I know it's LMNOPs. No, just can you stop and take a step back and just clearly define what is a local school council? What do they do? And how can families get involved? Because I really want our families of our youngest learners to really understand that there is a place for you.
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely.
And so I want you to take some time and walk them through it.
All right. I'll be glad to do that. So LSC is also known as the local school council. One fun fact about the local school council, we are the only district in the nation that has a local school council. And what a local school council is an opportunity for parents, community members, students, teachers, and the principal by default all have an opportunity to have a voice, a seat at the table to talk about things that impact them. Often you have people from the top making decisions that are going to impact the end users. Those are our stakeholders, our students, our parents, our communities. But who better can say what's best for them and their students and their school community than the people that are involved? And that's the parents and the students.
Yes.
So the local school council is a governing body composed of parents, students, teachers, non-teachers, and the principal. They select the principal, which is really important.
Huge.
They select the principal because everyone knows that the leader, the shepherd of a school is really important. They're making decisions. And so this is a body that is put in place to collaborate with the principal and make sure that your voice is heard and the things that you desire to see in that school is happening. So they select the principal, they evaluate the principal, they approve the budget. They also do principal renewal, so they can renew the contract or they cannot renew it.
Yeah.
So this is a partnership. They approve the CIWP, School Improvement Plan. Everything is a partnership. They have voice in it. They meet once a month.
Okay.
So it's not a huge time commitment. There's one meeting once a month unless they have special meetings. And so the opportunity is really important because you want to have some say-so in what's going on with your students. And what better time to do it than when you're entering into the school system.
When your babies are fresh into the system and having an opportunity to bring your voice in that space and shape the learning that's happening at that particular school. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about, I know from what I know and what I hear from our families is, some of our families don't feel as though, pre-K voice is accepted or, the right voice for the space. Can you talk a little bit about that perception?
Absolutely. Now, that's a great question. So I want to start by saying that as your children are entering into the school, this is the perfect time, because being on the LSC is not only an opportunity to have voice in what goes on in that school, it's an opportunity to know the staff, of that school, to create that relationship, to have that partnership, to understand what's going on in the district, what's going on in that school. And you begin to help shape what that experience is going to be for that student, and not just your student, not just your child, but for all of the children.
Yeah.
And it's a really unique opportunity. And so what I like our parents to think about is, as you're entering into pre-K or into kindergarten, you got another 8 years to go through that grade school, and then another 4 in high school. So this is a long journey, and your voice matters. Yeah. What you think is important matters. The only qualifications a parent need to be on the LSC is they need to care, and they need to have a child in that school. So any parent of a child attending a CPS school can run for the LSC of the school in which their child attends. If that parent has children in 3 different CPS schools, that parent can run to fill a parent seat at those 3 different schools.
Wow. That's
Absolutely.
Important. Now, this is all great information. What is the training? So I know you said they don't need to be able to do, but care, which is great. But what training is available to them?
Yes. So like I stated, I'm the assistant director for the Office of Local School Council Relations. Our department is designed, and our only reason for existence is to provide supports to our families and our schools for local school council relation issues. So we provide all the training. It is mandated training. There's courses that talks about running a meeting, the budget, electing officers, because you have officers on the LSC, like you have a chair and a vice chair and a secretary. Yeah. And so it talks about those things. It talks about the budget and CIWP. So we do all the training so that you understand and that you're making informed decisions. In addition to the trainings that we have virtual trainings that you do. We have in-person trainings. We have trainings on our website that you can do at your own time. They're pre-recorded. And then the Office of Local School Council Relations, we have specialists assigned to each network. So you can call your specialist at any time to ask questions. If you're not clear on, we're getting ready to go through principal selection, we're here to provide that support and answer any questions that they may have.
So I want to just, because this is so good, I want to just make sure I'm taking it all in, right? So, the role is important, right? We know how it benefits students. Mm-hmm. The only requirement is to care.
Yes, and the other requirement is that they have to have a school.
Yes. That was the next thing. Okay. To care and to have a student in the school.
Yes.
There's training. And all voices are welcome.
Yes.
So I know there's specific times of year when families can express interest and apply to be. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So the requirements to run for the LSC is you have to have a student in the school.
Yep.
And you will complete a nomination packet that we provide that's available on our website at lsrelations.cps.edu.
Okay.
Or you can get a nomination package from your school principal or any LSC member, or you can actually come to our office at 2651 Washington to pick up a package. But one of the things that's really important to know too is to be an LSC member, you don't require a specific degree. You don't have to speak English. There's not requirements outside of, I care for what's going on with my student. I care for my community. I'm a parent who has a student in this school. So I think it's really important to know that there is not a reason that you shouldn't run because you don't think that you fit the bill. Just caring makes you fit the bill. You don't need a cape to be a hero. You just need to care. So we invite and encourage all of our parents to run. And what that looks like when you're running for the LSC.
Yeah, because folks are like, wait a minute, what do I got to do? Where am I running to? So what does that mean to run?
Yes. So the LSC, we have a election every 2 years.
Okay.
I'm excited for our FY26 elections coming up.
Oh.
It's a biannual election.
Okay.
And so it's on the same day as report card pickup. So March 18th, you would go in, the people would come in and vote for the parents that they want. So the parent that wants to run, they will fill out an application or a
nomination. When do they do that?
We're going to be sending notes out and advertisement to the schools, to parents, sending notes home in book bags of students, and they can go on our website. That'll be coming up in the upcoming months for them to apply.
Family, it's not too late,
it's
right?
So this is the time.
This is prime information, right? So this is the right time. So if you feel led, if you feel like you have that passion to lead, if you want to advocate not only for your child, but for other child in the school, now is the time. So I know you were getting ready to get into the whole process, but we know we're right on time with this information. So families that want to can take part.
Absolutely. And we'll have videos going out so that you can just click the video and hear from parents that have run and their experience, hear from students, hear from community members. So you kind of get a feel of what's going on. But what I do encourage families to begin to do now is while you're thinking about, do I want to run, is attend a LSC meeting.
Oh my gosh.
Any school. You are welcome to go to any school.
And they do have some that are virtual.
Yes. Well, all the LSCs have to be in person. Because of the legislation, but some schools have a virtual platform for public participation. So you can even join. If you go into our CPS website, you can click on the map and it'll tell you the schools and the dates of their meetings. And so if they have a meeting at a school nearby, you go to that meeting just as a participant, just to observe and see, how does this flow? What are some of the things that they're talking about? Is this something that I'm up to? So I would definitely encourage you to do that. For one, just to know what's going on in your school. But for two, to see like, oh, this is definitely something I want to do.
And that makes me think about, I think back to COVID when we had such engagement from families. And then we got back into our routines. And then that family involvement, family engagement kind of dropped off. I think this is an opportunity right now to like really spread the word so we can pick it back up.
Absolutely.
Because we're so much better when we have families involved and family input into a lot of the decisions and policies and processes that are put in place in the district.
Absolutely. I think that's why I'm really excited to be here today, because as we're gearing up to launch our marketing campaign to encourage parents to run for the LSC, I want you guys to be out on the lookout. So I'm really happy to be here. I want you to look for it, share the opportunity with other parents, check out our LSC, look at the videos. When you see it on billboards, on buses, on your school bulletin board, you're going to see it everywhere, because we really want to engage our parents to take advantage of this unique opportunity and help shape the future of their child's education.
Now, we talked a little bit about process, like the how. We talked about the what it is. We talked a little bit about the why. Is there anything else you want parents to know regarding this process before we move into some other parent bodies? Because there are other parent bodies out there too.
Yes, I definitely want our parents to know that you matter, your voice matters, and it's a great way to be involved with your school, engage, know what's going on, and for your children to see that as well. Because as they get older, there's also opportunities for them to be student reps. So it's just a really good way to get some experience, understand what's going on, have a voice, and what's going on. And like I said, we're the only district in the nation. So it's a really unique opportunity. And we really want to have all our seats filled, no vacancies.
That's right. All right. So we talked a little bit about LSC, Local School Council. But in the beginning, we said there's a PAC. So can you talk a little bit about the PAC? So if families are like, Leslie, maybe I don't want to do LSC, but there may be some interest in a PAC. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So the PAC is the Parent Advisory Council. And so all schools have a PAC or Parent Advisory Council. And you could go to the CPS website again to look up, to fill out an application and find out what the process is so that you can apply for that. The PAC works hand in hand with the LSC. There are some collaborations there. So if you don't want to run for the LSC, you can always run for the Parent Advisory Council or the community, the CAC, the CAC, Community Advisory Council. There's so many platforms for your voices to be heard. And some people are just, social butterflies and they love the spotlight and they love to speak. Others still care and want to be there, but don't really know how to do that. And maybe they don't want to do a lot of talk and they just want to volunteer their time and show up. So there's different platforms within the district, whether it's the local school council, whether it's the Parent Advisory Council, whether it's the Community Advisory Council, for our parents to take advantage of. And then one really big important thing I want our parents to remember is if you don't feel strongly connected to do one of those things, or you're, have some hesitation, everyone can participate in their students' education. If you're not running for a local school council, you should be voting.
Yes.
Right? Because you want to vote for a voice that represents your voice. Maybe you don't have the time to commit. Maybe you don't feel comfortable yet, but you need to go out there and hear what's going on with our candidates so you can vote, because it's one at every school. Vote for the parents that represent your voice and the things you want to see on those councils. And finally, you can also serve as a judge. We pay judges to do the LSCs, and we have to have judges to even host the elections. And so that's
Talk a little bit more about what's the judge and what's the role of the judge? What's the responsibilities of the judge? What's the time commitment for a judge?
Yes, absolutely. So we're really excited about the judge opportunity because anyone can apply to be a judge. We take full responsibility of training you.
Great.
We include money in the stipend for you to get lunch. The stipend is $275 that you get paid to actually serve for a judge for that day. And so as a judge, what you're going to be doing is you're going to kind of facilitate those elections at that school, partner with another judge, and then there's a coordinator there at the school who will kind of help
there's a
guide
group.
you. There's a group.
I'm not the only judge in the room.
No, It's a partnership. Our office is available, but we train you. There's a training, there's a video, there's a workbook that you get. We have a 24-hour hotline that's open during the day of the elections in case you run into a situation and need help. But this is an opportunity we really need our parents and community members to take advantage of, because again, we can't host the elections without the judges. And so either you're going to participate as a paid judge, you're going to participate because you're going to vote, or you're going to participate because you're going to run and sit on a council. But there are so many opportunities. So we're looking forward to everyone participating in one way or another.
Now, let me ask you this. I hear from families all the time, like, I don't feel as though I'm a leader. Mm-hmm. Is there opportunity for them to start to build their advocacy? Maybe not at a LSC. Maybe they're not ready for the LSC and the CACs and the PACs yet. But would you suggest like just starting to volunteer at the school to start to build their toolkit around parent advocacy? Because there's lots of opportunities, because, you're connected with FACE, and there's a lot of opportunities for families to go to Springfield and advocate. So it's not just sitting on these committees, but how do we get our families that might just be sitting right here on the couch, who may be thinking like, I want to get involved, but I'm not ready to jump off the fence into LSC, PAC, Elemental P. But I want to start right here at my local school.
A really great question. And so what I want to give credit to is the CPS website has amazing opportunities for various initiatives that are taking place that parents can take advantage of. And then before we get to that, because the CPS website is huge, right?
Yes, it is.
We want to go a little smaller. So our parent universities, right?
Ooh,
we have FACE has parent universities set up in each network that parents can go to. They offer classes, resources. And then there's always someone there from FACE who can answer questions and talk about the different opportunities, like when we did go to Springfield, right?
Yeah.
There's also another thing is like, I want to encourage parents, look through your children's book bag, read the notes that come home. There's always opportunities you can apply to volunteer at your school. You fill out the application, you submit it. There's fingerprinting involved, that they'll do a background check, and the principal gets to decide who they want to participate. So you can volunteer, but just really being present, right? Like when the teachers send notes home, or if you're checking on the school website or the CPS website, listen to the board meeting, because then you hear the different things that are going on. It's so many different things going on, so many opportunities, and we need the bodies, and we have them. We just got to make sure that they're getting that information, and they know those opportunities exist, and that they are the right person to be there.
I love that you mentioned the universities. I think that is such a safe and targeted way to start getting acclimated to what's happening within the district. It's within your network community area, but it's also a lot of information flowing through the university. So that's a good shout out to Pam Price.
Yes, shout out to Pam Price. And then in conjunction with the parent universities, we have our faith-based initiatives.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I work so closely with Alan.
Yes. And they're doing amazing work.
Oh no. Amazing. Like, we've partnered with Alan and the faith-based initiatives to really promote our pre-K application. And let me tell you, it has been such a strong partnership. Right. But it wasn't just, it was our office, it was Alan and the faith-based leaders, and it was CTU. So it was a real a true collaboration. It was beautiful.
Nice.
And we saw great success with that work. So shout out to all the work that's happening under Alan's leadership. So we mentioned parent university. And so I know some parents are probably wondering, like, is it a university? Am I graduating? What's happening in this parent university? Tell me a little bit about that before we go through some acronyms.
Okay. So our parent university, you don't walk away with a degree. What you do walk away with, each parent university serves the community. They offer various trainings, classes on budgeting, hobbies, crocheting, food services, like they teach about different healthy lifestyles, yoga. So what they do is they kind of see the needs within each community, because it's not a one size fit all. Right. There's a various need for each community. And it's an open door where parents can come into this space, and it's inside of a school building. And so you can find those locations on our website, but you come in and they offer all of these different services that you can take advantage of for free.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Now, get into the acronyms we mentioned. We talked about the LSC, the Local Schools Council. We talked about the PAC, the Parent Advisory Council. We talked about the CAC, the Community Advisory Council, but we did not talk about FACE.
All right.
I threw that out there. Talk a little bit about what FACE is and who FACE is for the district.
All right. So FACE is the umbrella. FACE is the department, and FACE is the acronyms that stands for Family and Community Engagement. And so our FACE department our chief is Fanny Diego, that leads that work. And under FACE, you have faith-based initiatives, you have local school councils, you have parent universities, you have our FACE managers, our volunteers. So it's the umbrella that holds all of these different things that gives resources and supports throughout our communities.
So, all of these different pathways around engagement and parent involvement is so critical and so necessary for the work that we do within the district. But
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about maybe a personal story that you've seen, some transformation from families that may have been a part of one or multiple of these opportunities to engage within the system?
Absolutely. So I'm going to go with local school councils.
Okay.
Because as we're gearing up, towards the election, I want people to get excited about this unique opportunity and understand what that looks like, right? If you've never heard of it, you haven't seen it. There was a school where the principal has 3 buildings. She has a local school council, and that council, those members noticed that there were some issues with dropping off the students, right? The challenges that can be very small, they can be big. You get a group of people together that care to solve these problems. Her council identified that, okay, there's a lot of parents complaining about pickup and drop off for kids. It was not a smooth transition. There were people running stop signs. So the local school council got together, volunteer their time to get up in the morning, go out there, set up a system so that people can mimic it. They didn't have to man it for the rest of the year, but they mimicked what could work.
What it could look like.
For the principal.
That's amazing.
Mimicked what can work. And so she highlights, Principal Wells, she highlights how amazing and grateful she is to her LSC because they saw a problem. And it's the great thing about the LSC is you identify a problem, but then you come to the table and collectively come up with a solution.
Yeah.
So they did that work. In conjunction with that, they did fundraisers to raise money so that those students can get uniforms. So those students can have this mother-daughter dance, mother-son dance, and a father-daughter dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I was invited to the dance, and they recreated that gym room, and it was amazing. And you saw parents, and some of the parents were in tears because they say they don't get a chance to dress up. They had on tuxedos. I mean, they were suited and booted. They looked amazing. But she brought that community together. These are 3 different buildings who otherwise don't get to engage. And so that LSC helped her create that space, serve the food, got the ticket, did everything. But just so those are different things that they do. They identify challenges, but then they work through them together so that they can all celebrate that great work. And the students at the end of the day are the ones that's benefiting.
No, that's beautiful. And that's what true partnership looks like. And that's what true engagement looks like when we provide opportunities for families and people that care about the school to work together.
Absolutely.
We are now coming to one of my favorite parts of our podcast, and that's where we play one of my childhood games, Red Light, Green Light. So have you played that as a kid?
I did. It was one of my favorites.
Yes, I love it. So we're going to play Red Light, Green Light, but we're also going to do it in a way where we demystify myths.
Okay.
So here for our Circle Time Conversations community, I love to be truthful, and I love for families to have the information that they need in order to make informed decisions. So I'm going to say a phrase or ask you a question. And if it's true, then you want to hold up the green paddle.
Okay.
If it's kind of true, but may need some context, then you hold up the yellow. If it's definitely a myth, if it's not true at all, we want to hold up the red. Okay.
Got it.
All right. So just a couple questions.
All right.
And these are questions that we hear frequently from families. And so the first one is, if I am not a good speaker or outgoing, then I probably should not sign up or apply for any parent leadership within the school.
Absolutely not. All voices matter.
Talk a little bit more about that.
Yes. So there is no requirement for you to speak English or have this perfect diction. Like I said, you only need to care. Your voice matters. We're going to train you on what you need to know before you vote on a budget, before you vote on a principal evaluation or a school improvement plan. You're going to know what you're voting on. They're going to present that information to you. And so you're going to have what you need so that you can make an informed decision. On top of that, our office is here to serve.
That's right.
Our office is led by Director Kashasha Ford.
Yeah, and
we have a dynamic team of specialists doing amazing work. Our combined years of experience is over 150 years.
That's amazing.
And so we are here to support all of the amazing work, all of the questions, the concerns. We're here. So no, you are welcome, and we will make sure you feel comfortable and heard.
Great. All right. Let's go to our second question.
Okay.
So our second question is, if I can't make every meeting, then I probably shouldn't sign up for this.
Absolutely not. You are more than welcome to come. Of course, this is a commitment you've signed up for. So the expectation is that you show up to the meetings, because in order for an LSC, a local school council, to conduct business and vote on anything, they have to have a quorum. And so they need the members present. However, things happen, and sometimes members cannot attend. Like I say, the meetings are once per month unless you have a special meeting, a special call meeting. And then there is a provision where if a parent or an LSC member cannot attend the meeting due to an illness or childcare, if the council has quorum in person, they can vote for that other member to attend virtually, as long as there's a quorum in place, because we want to make sure that those councils can do what they were signed up to do and conduct business. And we understand that things happen. So you're not going to make every meeting. That's what you're going to set out to do.
That's
but
the
life
goal.
Happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, it's good that you have those provisions in place, but this is a big job.
Absolutely.
And, when you're going in, you do want to have that goal in mind, but we do know and life happens to folks.
But so it is a commitment.
It is a commitment for sure.
And our children are counting on you.
So as a teacher, I cannot end the session without giving homework. So I'm taking out my take-home folder. I'm going to give some action items. I'm going to let you give some homework to families, but we'll make sure that they have some next steps from leaving this.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you want to go ahead and give your homework first, and then I'll give my action item.
All right. Beautiful. So again, thank you so much for this space. As we're exiting this space, I want our listeners to keep in mind that our LSC elections are coming. So the opportunity for you to support and shape your child's education is right before you. Keep a lookout on our websites for updated information every last Wednesday of the month, starting September, every last Wednesday of the month. And you can find these on our website. I host an LSC engagement session. This is a virtual session that's open to all the city of Chicago. And in that session, we share pertinent LSC information, district updates. I invite district leaders to share information, but anything you need to know related to LSC and you hear from other LSC members, this is every last Wednesday of the month. So I want to invite everyone to come out to that meeting. I also want to invite you to attend a meeting at your school, a LSC meeting, just as a guest to observe, and also inquire with your principal about nomination packets so that you can apply.
Thank you so much. That's good homework, great information. And I just want to, before I give my action item, I just want to say thank you. It was I think this is going to be very well received because as I mentioned earlier, our families of our youngest learners may not have felt like they have a place in this parent engagement, LSC, PAC circle, but just off of the information that you shared today, I'm sure that has changed some hearts and minds, and they feel like I belong and I can make a difference.
Come on.
So now, family, I want to give you action items, and I think mine is pretty simple. I want you to talk to your child about what they love about school, and then think to yourself, what can I do to make that school a better place?
All right. I like that homework.
And also share this podcast, share this information, be on the lookout for all of the information that is going to be forthcoming around LSC nominations.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.